history of the Tigers, dazzling rookies have burst on the scene. Names like Keene, Kaline, Fidrich, and Verlander have exploded in their first season in the Old English D. This year, Austin Jackson has added his name to the list of Tiger rookie phenoms. It is an absolutely beautiful night for baseball here in the Motor City as we welcome you to Comerica Park. Game 2 in this 4-game series featuring the Chicago White Sox and your Detroit Tigers. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, glad to have you with us. Tigers trying to rebound from their Labor Day loss here yesterday to Chicago. And as we delve into the month of September, the Tigers continue to take a look at some of their young players. One rookie that has been here all season long is Austin Jackson. By the time this year is done, he could be the Rookie of the Year. Earlier today, Rod Allen caught up with the Tigers' star center fielder.
All right, thank you very much, Mario. Austin, kind enough to join us for the start of our broadcast tonight. And my first question to you is, I've watched everything that you've been able to do on the baseball field this year, but you've stayed so well-grounded. Who are your mentors? I mean, who's teaching you? I mean, where are you getting your knowledge from as far as how to conduct yourself?
Well, I watched a lot of players. I got a chance to be around a lot of great players. Started, in the Yankee organization with me getting to be around guys like Jeter and things like that and kind of learning things from him, Cano. And then over here, you got a great group of guys that, are there, like Damon and Inge and, even, guys like Cabrera, even though the language barrier is a little, may take something into place. But, guys like that has definitely helped me, be a well-rounded player on and off the field.
I've kind of caught myself now, like, waiting for you to make the next great play in center field. How special is it to you to play in some of the best fans in the country and roam center field here at Comerica Park?
It means a lot. It could be, I guess, a little frustrating sometimes when you don't, make that good play or save that run. If if you'd have caught that ball in the gap, you maybe could have saved the run. But it's good. It's good for me being a rookie. Getting to come and play in front of great fans in Detroit. I mean, it's been more than I can ask for. So.
Offensively, has this been your best year? Did you ever have any years like this while you were playing in the minor leagues, or is this an outstanding breakout season for you?
It's hard to tell. I think that I did well in the minor leagues. I hit 300 a couple years, so I knew that I would be able to hit at this level. It was just the adjustments that I had to make to these type of pitchers. So,
well, thank you very much for your time, and keep it rolling.
All right, appreciate it.
All right, back up to you, Mario.
Rod, thank you very much. The Tigers and the White Sox just minutes away now. In the meantime, we send you back to the Call Sam Studios, and with more in our coverage today, here's Mickey York. And welcome back to Comerica Park. We are underway tonight as Juan Pierre leads it off for the Chicago White Sox. Pierre, Vizquel, and Rios facing Justin Verlander in Game 2 in this series between these two teams. Pierre fouls one back, and the count is 0-2 on the Chicago leadoff man. Great night for baseball here. Glad to have you along with us as the Tigers try and bounce back from yesterday's loss. Pierre batting .278. And Verlander's 0-2 pitch is inside and high, backs him out of there. 1-2. 81 degrees our game time temperature tonight on a gorgeous night here in the Motor City. Verlander in search of his 15th win of the season. Here's the 1-2 offering. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Juan Pierre. Pierre was 1 for 5 in the ball game yesterday for Chicago. He's battling it a bit though. He's 2 for his last 18. Yeah, the White Sox continue to win. They've won 7 straight. And Chicago, as a result, it's 77-60 coming into play tonight.
If you weren't with us in yesterday's ball game, we told you that Juan Pierre is the toughest player in the American League to strike out, but Verlander has a couple of different strikeout pitches.
That is popped up foul, back out of play. Count stays 2-2.
Juan Pierre is also a guy that Verlander must keep off the base paths. He comes in with 54 steals. He's been caught 15 times. He's a fearless base stealer.
That's why it's kind of amazing that in his struggles here, his team has won 7 straight, keeping the pressure on Minnesota. Chicago came in 3.5 back. And a bouncing ball left side of the infield. Inge will throw him out and 1 away. Here's the rest of the Chicago starting lineup, brought to you tonight by Honda Bloomfield. You saw Pierre leading it off. He is in left field, followed by Omar Vizquel, Alex Rios. Manny Ramirez is the DH at cleaning up. Then Tien and Quentin. And their bottom 3 tonight features Pierzynski, who's on a long hitting streak, Kotsay, and then Alexi Ramirez. Here comes Omar Vizquel, the number 2 hitter. Vizquel looks at strike 1.
You know, you brought up an interesting point, the fact that most teams have been able to slow Pierre down the last few days, but the White Sox continue to win. They've been getting it done 7th inning or later. They've gotten some clutch hits lately.
As they did yesterday. Vizquel is out of there, 3 unassisted, and there are 2 gone now as we check out the scouting report on Justin Verlander presented by Ace Hardware.
Well, let's take a look at some of the career numbers that guys have against Verlander in their careers. Pierzynski's very, very hot, so he might stay away from him in a situation where Pierzynski could drive in a big run, because a lot of the other guys that are in the game today, with the exception of Paul Konerko, their numbers aren't all that favorable against Justin Verlander.
Here is Alex Rios with 2 outs. Rios at .292.
Don't let the low hand position, at least at the start of the swing, fool you as far as the fastballs that Rios can and cannot get to. He still has very quick hands.
1 ball, 1 strike. Well, Rios has had a marvelous season, 20 home runs. He's been around 300 most of the year.
He's also stolen more than 30 bases and an outstanding defender.
Good breaking ball in for a strike, 1-2.
And Verlander has that pitch along with a slider. He also has a legitimate swing and miss changeup. 4 really good pitches for Verlander, the ace of the Tiger staff.
Rios with 79 RBIs has knocked in 9 in his last 10 games, and this is the player that more resembles the guy they thought they were getting when they claimed him off the waiver wire last year. Although he struggled in a White Sox uniform after that claim, he hit just 199 for Chicago. 2-2 pitch is low, 3 balls and 2 strikes on Alex Rios. A year ago today, he was batting .249. Fewer homers, fewer RBIs. We'll get back into the seats. 3-2 to count stays. They got Manny Ramirez waiting on deck if Rios keeps it going. You know, when Konerko is in this lineup, and Konerko is still being bothered by a stiff back, I mean, it's pretty formidable when you're talking about Rios and Manny and Konerko.
It's dangerous. Yeah, that's for sure. But a good right-handed pitcher can kind of negate some of these right-handed bats.
And he tipped it foul right at home plate.
And Verlander would be that guy. He's one of the best right-handed pitchers in the game, and usually good pitching stops good hitting. Rios is right-handed, Ramirez is right-handed, Quentin also right-handed. So usually power hitters don't do all that well against power pitchers unless that power pitcher makes a mistake.
Again, the 3-2. And he lost him ball 4.
Let's take a look at the Tigers defensively. It's always presented by Beaumont Hospitals. In the outfield, you've got Kelly, who had a really nice day yesterday. Jackson, well, he's had a nice year. Brendan Bosch, he's in right. Brandon Inge at third. Peralta back at short. Rhymes, boy, what a September he has had. He's at second. Cabrera, he's over at first. And Alex Avila is catching Justin Verlander here tonight.
So here is Manny Ramirez with 2 outs. 7 for 16 in a Chicago uniform since coming over after the waiver claim right at the end of August.
Manny really hasn't done a whole lot of damage except for the fact that he's gotten on base. There's the batting average, but the majority of his hits in a White Sox uniform have been singles. But he's been known to trot a few times in his career.
Boy, has he. 7 hits in a White Sox uniform, all singles. And he takes strike 1.
He is so well prepared. This guy is a hitting machine, and he has been a hitting machine pretty much since he came into professional baseball.
554 career home runs. 1 ball and 1 strike.
The White Sox have an outstanding hitting coach in Greg Walker. He's been with Ozzie Guillen for a long, long time, but make no mistake about it, a guy like Ramirez, when he puts you on your uniform, and he really shows guys how to prepare. This guy is well prepared.
Well, Manny eventually will be knocking on the door at 600 home runs. Jim Thome is currently doing that right now with Minnesota. They both played together in Cleveland.
Those were some really good teams.
Those are some really scary offensive teams. 1-1 on Manny Ramirez. Runner goes, and it's grounded toward third. Routine play for Brandon Inge. Ramirez is out. Sign retired. No runs, a walk, 1 left. Half inning in the books, no score. Presented by Big Boy, and it features the guy you just saw, Austin Jackson. He will lead things off, and he'll play in center field. Will Rhymes at second base, then Johnny Damon, the DH. Cabrera cleaning up. Kelly is in left field. Bosch is in right field, and your bottom 3 tonight is Peralta, Inge, and Avila. So Jackson digs in now. Austin 1 for 5 in the opener yesterday, and he takes one down low. Jackson at 305. He has knocked in 32 at a 2-base hit in yesterday's contest. And Jackson this year has had 31 doubles. The 2-0 pitch. There's a strike from right-hander Freddie Garcia.
And Freddie Garcia has about 6 different pitches, a couple of different fastballs. He's got a curve, he's got a change, he's got a split-fingered fastball, and very seldom does he give in when he's behind in the count or when there's runners in scoring position. Freddie knows how to pitch.
Swing and a miss.
He'll also throw that fastball up above the belt buckle at about 85 miles an hour, which looks awfully enticing, but very difficult to get to on occasion.
3-2 pitch. Lifted in the air toward right center. Rios and Quentin the right fielder. One gone. The Bernstein advantage brings you the scouting report on Freddie Garcia. Get the Bernstein advantage. We go to bat for you.
Although Freddie has had a lot of success in his career against the Tigers, there are a couple of guys that have gotten to him a little bit lately, and one would be Cabrera, his best friend. He's beat up on Freddie pretty bad. Brennan Bosch has also had some good at-bats against him, along with Jackson and Damon and Inns. They've kind of struggled against Garcia in their careers.
4th time the Tigers have seen Freddie Garcia, who is a former Tiger, albeit very briefly. There's ball 1 to Will Rhymes.
When Freddie came up as a youngster in the Houston Astros organization, he moved on to Seattle and then to White Sox. His first tour of duty in their uniform, he was a power pitcher. He was 95 and above with his fastball. He had a breaking ball and a nice split-fingered fastball to go with that, but arm injuries have kind of caused him into changing the way that he pitches.
Line drive past the diving Omar Vizquel. Second, that is Martin at third base. They had a couple of changes defensively. All right, by the way, if Detroit combines for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow. Get a free small order of curly fries. Here is Johnny Damon. Gordon Beckham was to start tonight. He was a late scratch, which affected their defense. Vizquel is now at second base. Johnny rips one in the air. Right field, way back. This ball is up, and this ball is gone. It's out of here. Johnny Damon, a 2-run shot. And the Tigers grab the lead.
That is something that Garcia has done quite a bit of this year, and that's giving up the home run ball. That is now the 22nd home run that Freddie has given up this year. Looked like a little fastball at the bottom of the strike zone at 82 miles an hour, and that's right down in Johnny Damon's happy zone, and he trots around the bases.
Number 8 on the season for Damon. And the Tigers score first here tonight. It's also 45 RBIs for Johnny. Cabrera skies this one in the air to left field. Fairly deep. Pierre back to the edge of the warning track.
There is quite a bit of wind blowing to left field today, which means if anybody gets a hold of one, they have a pretty good chance of hitting it out in that direction. Although Damon, he hit his out to right field. You can see the flags on top of the scoreboard. They are blowing at a pretty brisk pace out to left.
That home run by Damon, by the way, was his first since July the 28th at Tampa Bay. Here's Don Kelly. He homered in yesterday's game. Also had 3 RBIs. One ball and 1 strike on Kelly, who now has 6 homers, 20 driven in on the year.
His first couple of at-bats in last night's game, he got fastballs from Jackson, and he singled and homered. And then he got breaking balls the remainder of the way. And the first 3 pitches from Garcia here tonight, all breaking ball variety.
That's on the ground to the right side, scooped up by Kotze. He'll flip to the pitcher covering, and that will retire the side. Tigers, they'll grab the lead on Damon's 2-run shot. Back here at Comerica Park as we mosey on to the second inning tonight. It's 2-0 in favor of the Tigers thanks to a Johnny Damon home run. And Verlander now with an early cushion facing Mark Tien, who looks at a strike 0-1. A 20-pitch first inning for Verlander. Tien yesterday was 0 for 4. Way outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Tien, then Quentin, and then Pierzynski in the Chicago second. Let's lift it back out of play.
The White Sox have won 7 consecutive games on their current road trip, but they really cannot make up any ground whatsoever because the Minnesota Twins continue to win every single night. That has to be somewhat frustrating for Ozzie Guillen, but all you can do as a manager is continue to have your guys go out and give all they've got.
Tien was on the DL for a while, in fact about 2.5 months with a fractured finger, and when he was out, Vizquel was playing so well that Ozzie Guillen wasn't sure if he wanted to rock the boat when Tien got back and play him at third base, but they played him some in right field. They've used him as the DH some. He does provide an element of power. The 1-2 is a good breaking ball, strike 3 in the outside corner.
Verlander told me earlier this year when he's going good, and it appears he has his good breaking ball today, some he will simply start like this one, which is off the plate, which will catch the corner. Some he will start at the top of the strike zone, and they just fall right down around the belt buckle, right down the middle. So when he's got his really good curveball, he spots it very well.
One out for Carlos Quentin. Quentin walked yesterday, was 0 for 4 otherwise. Carlos hit .241, but he's hit 24 home runs this year.
And his contact to damage ratio is pretty good. Batting average not very good, but he gets paid to drive in runs.
And he's done a bunch of that, 82 RBIs this year. One ball, 1 strike on Carlos Quentin. Breaking ball and a beauty.
Verlander is seeing the Chicago White Sox offensively for the very first time this year, although he's pitched quite a few games against them in his major league career. He says it's really no different the way that he'll approach him. Only a couple of guys he has not seen. He and Avila really having a difficult time here in the first couple of innings, getting on the same page.
Swing and a miss, and Quentin goes down. Second strikeout for Justin. 2 up, 2 away, and we do remind you here tonight this game is available in crystal clear high definition on Fox Sports Detroit HD. It is sponsored by Comcast.
This last pitch at 86 miles an hour, take a look at the life on this. That's a 2-seam fastball from Verlander. He doesn't throw many of those. Most of his fastballs are in the mid-90s, but that at 86 with outstanding movement down and in to Carlos Quentin.
Pierzynski hits one on the ground and through out of the reach of the shortstop Peralta.
Pierzynski's just on fire right now. Every time he swings the bat, he's getting a base hit these days.
And to the tune of a 14-game hitting streak with that single. AJ now 15 for 43 career against Verlander with 3 home runs. Here's the first baseman, Mark Kotsay. A couple of hits yesterday, raising his average to 242. He's hit 8 home runs. And Kotsay takes ball 1.
You don't have to worry about Pierzynski trying to steal a base, although the last time they were here in this ballpark, the last series these two teams hooked up for, he did attempt a steal where he tried to catch the Tigers sleeping and was thrown out.
Piece of paper loose on the field right now. Alex Avila has to run out there and stomp on it. Nobody else wanted to attempt getting it. Avila taking charge. Alex getting another start behind the plate here today. Here's the 1-0. Kotsay, well-traveled, former #1 pick. He's played in both leagues. He's had a really solid big league career. And they have utilized him this year as a first baseman, a right fielder, and a DH. Originally drafted by the Marlins back in the mid-90s. Fouled back out of play.
When he was drafted in the mid-90s, that's back when Dave Dombrowski and his assistant Al Avila, they were pretty much running the Florida Marlins organization, and a lot of their scouts they now have on board with the Tigers were part of the Florida Marlins organization at that time as well. Kotsay was an outstanding college player. He could do it all.
He has over 1,500 big league hits. Verlander missing 2-2 the count.
And he played at a pretty good program, Cal State Fullerton. They play really good baseball at that school.
Alexi Ramirez, the #9 hitter, waiting on deck. Bouncing ball right side. Will Rhymes has it there. And the inning is over. No runs, a hit, one left. You're watching Tigers baseball tonight, presented by Bell Tire. Brennan Bosch to lead it off. He'll be followed by Peralta, and then Brandon Inge. 2-run home run by Johnny Damon. The difference, the Chief, they called him. Freddie Garcia is on the hill for Chicago, and he delivers strike one to Bosch.
And that's something else that Freddie has the ability to do, because he has pretty good control on most nights, and he can throw that breaking ball for a strike whenever he wants to do so.
Freddie, we mentioned, was briefly a Tiger. That was in 2008. Pitched with Seattle, the White Sox a couple of times, and Philadelphia.
He's had a really nice year for Isaac Guillen as their #5 starter. He's made 26 starts, 11-5 record. Earned run average is under 5, but they've got a pretty good offense, so they score some runs for Freddie. And he's been able to win a lot of games. 11 wins out of your #5 starter is not bad at all.
Ooh, that's really good. Freddie has also done really good work on the road in his career. 1-2 bounces in, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Garcia's had one of the better road records and winning percentages. .660 as a matter of fact on the road. He's also been pretty good in the postseason. The 2-2 pitch is low, 3-2.
5 straight pitches to Brennan Bosch. All 5 have been off-speed pitches. Yeah, but you can't start looking for off-speed pitches if you're Bosch. Not in a 3-2 count. You simply have to look for the baseball and make adjustments to something that might be a little slower than a fastball.
Chopped to third, foul. Well, Bosch 1 for 3 in yesterday's opener. Brennan batting .266. He's knocked in 62 runs.
He still leads all American League rookies in home runs and runs driven in. And second in several other categories.
On the ground to the first baseman. Kotsay wins the race to the bag, and 1 gone. Well, earlier today, the wind was really whipping around the ballpark. How much so that, look at the cage. They couldn't stop it. I mean, it was really blowing. A batten down the hatches type of day here at the ballpark. One gone now for Johnny Peralta.
Alexi Ramirez, the shortstop, went in to say something to Freddie Garcia right before that very first pitch to Johnny Peralta. And Johnny's a dead pull hitter, so apparently he said something to the effect that I'm going to be playing him in the hole at shortstop, just so you know, so you can pitch him accordingly. And you can see the shortstop is well over in that shortstop hole.
Here's the 1-1. A little bit outside, 2 balls, 1 strike. Peralta has played 35 games in a Tigers uniform, and he has 22 RBIs since coming over, so his production has been really good for Detroit. And it's pretty much, I think, at least in my eyes, opened the Tigers' eyes a little bit in terms of next year.
He's a good big league player.
Very solid.
And he's right in the middle of his prime. He's just 27 years old. He's got a lot of baseball left.
You know, when he was traded over here, I had no idea he was 27 years old. He just seemed like he'd been around so long that he'd be pushing 30, maybe 31.
Came to the big leagues very young, had a chance to play shortstop for Cleveland. He's got a chance to be a lot better than he is right now.
So it's 3-2 now on Peralta. Tigers got to Garcia in the first inning with a 2-run homer from Johnny Damon. Driven to left field, sinking, and Pierre plays it on 1 hop. 1 on, 1 out. Tigers have their 3rd hit of the game. Here comes Brandon Inge. Inge is still looking for that 200th double. He has 199, and as soon as he gets it, he'll become the 26th player in franchise history to reach 200. Might as well do it right now. High fly ball. Shallow left field. Juan Pierre is under it, and Peralta retreats. That'll bring up Alex Avila. Avila, coming into this game, had started 8 of the previous 10 for Detroit. And he's back out there again here tonight. Was hitless yesterday. And he chops one foul first base side, 0-1. Make it 0-2 on Alex. Freddie Garcia career in this ballpark is 8-2. He loves pitching in this ballpark. 3.30 ERA. And there's a ground ball to second. Right at Vizquel. And that is that for Detroit. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. We go to the third. 2-0. AT&T Rethink Possible. Hey, by the way, tomorrow night during our Tigers White Sox telecast, you can bid on gift baskets packed by Tigers' wives and significant others that are filled with players' favorite things and a few items from Rod, John Keating, and myself. Each basket features unique items, including lots of autographed memorabilia and other special gifts. Proceeds from the My Favorite Things auction benefit the Detroit Tigers Foundation. For details, visit tigers.com/wives. You're going to want to be part of this tomorrow evening. Bid on some of your favorite baskets.
That ought to be a lot of fun for people to bid on. I've seen some of the baskets, and they've got some pretty good stuff in it.
Well, last year it was a blast, and it should be fun again tomorrow night. 2-0 here as we go to the top of the third. Verlander back to the hill. First pitch rolled foul off the bat of Alexi Ramirez. It'll be Ramirez, then Pierre, and Vizquel.
And Ramirez loves to jump on the first pitch fastballs, and Verlander knows as much, and that's why he threw that little 93-mile-per-hour fastball that was running in on Alexi's hands, and it was a pitch that Alexi could not do a whole lot with other than hit foul. He got a big hit yesterday. How about Ozzie Guillen yesterday? He didn't start Ramirez. He didn't start Konerko. He didn't start Rios. And somehow they came away with a win.
Here's a ground ball. Oh, diving play by Rhymes. To his feet to throw him out.
He's been getting it done. He's been doing it all on both sides of the baseball. And not only has he made just about every single routine play, he has made several flashy plays. And, of course, it doesn't take him very long to get up. He's a pretty good athlete.
That looked like a base hit all the way. Rhymes with a sparkling play, 1 gone. There's Juan Pierre.
I was talking to Rhymes before the game today, and he told me back in 2009 spring training where Jim Leland let him play a lot. I mean, he let him play a lot because Jim really liked him. He played very well in spring training. He also had an outstanding 2008 season in Double-A where he led the Eastern League in hits. And he said for him, Jim showing that much confidence in him allowed him to have that much confidence in himself to play big league baseball. He said that's kind of where it started for him, believing he could really be a good big league player.
A slap toward left center field. Kelly is on the run. He can't get it. They get by him. Jackson backs him up. And Pierre will go to second with a 1-out double. You're used to seeing Kelly haul everything in. He got close to that one.
A real good effort here by Don Kelly. Leaves his feet and just can't corral it. And now Pierre standing on second base as Jackson runs it down.
Well, back to your point on Rhymes, that confidence thing can really be huge, can it?
Remember how much Jim loved him that spring?
I do.
I mean, he just talked about Ryan. Ryan stayed up there almost the last day of spring training. Played every single day almost at some point in time.
His scale fouls went away.
But I was kind of looking at some of Ryan's minor league numbers. He's played well every single year. He's made several all-star teams in the minor leagues, and he's just finally taking advantage of Carlos Guillen's second injury, his second stint on the DL. And that's what you have to do. You got to get lucky up here.
Seize the moment. Well, by the way, the update on Carlos Guillen is that there's still some pain in his knee when he took that hit in New York on the slide at second base. And the outlook is that he more than likely is not going to be able to come back at any point this year. Kevin Rand, the trainer, was talking about it before the game today, which is unfortunate for Carlos.
Well, because you never want to go into the offseason with an injury. You want to leave playing on the baseball field. I don't know if Juan Pierre is entertaining the thought of stealing third base here with a left-handed batter in the batter's box and 1 out, but he has done it 13 times this year. He's only been caught twice. So we'll see. This much we do know: he is the best base stealer in the American League. Well, really in baseball, he has more than anybody.
Yeah, he sure does. Michael Bourne leads the National League, but he's in the 40 range. 2 balls and 1 strike on Omar Vizquel. 3 unassisted back in the first inning, 0 for 1.
I was talking to Juan before the game today, and he shared something with me as far as stealing bases is concerned, and I'll share it with you because he told me. He said that most young pitchers, the signs always come from the dugout. He said always the signs come from the dugout. He said so when a young pitcher is on the mound, he can tell very early on whether he's been told to throw over or not. He said the veteran players, they handle the running games themselves, but he says young players, they will tip right away whether they're throwing over or throwing home, and that's when he exploits their weaknesses.
That's popped up foul. Inge may have a play. That got it. Well, isn't that all part of being a great base stealer? I mean, there are plenty of guys in the history of the game that were fast but weren't good base stealers.
And regardless of who the pitcher is, he says he just knows that he can make it because he knows beyond a shadow of a doubt when they're coming home, and most of the time when they're, as I said, coming over to first base. And he's got a lot of confidence. And when he takes his first step, he's pretty much full speed. And you can see Verlander does not want to give him that bag. That's what speed will do. It will cause you to do some things differently as a pitcher.
Peralta trying to keep him as close as he can. Line drive, base hit right field. Here comes Pierre to third. They're going to try and score him. And Bosch's throw will come into second base. RBI single for Omar Vizquel.
I'm not going to make any excuses for Verlander because he would not want me to do so. But with the fact that Pierre being on second base and him paying a little bit of attention to him, his attention may have been divided a little bit and left this 3-2 pitch up for Vizquel. And Vizquel just did what he was supposed to do with that pitch, right down the middle at the belt buckle.
Omar Vizquel is just an amazing player. It's his 27th RBI this year. He's 43 years old. He's playing some demanding infield positions. And here we are in the month of September down the stretch. And he's out there every day. Here's Alex Rios.
Omar Vizquel has now played in 2,833 games, which is more than any player that has not been born in the United States. No player, no foreign player has played more games than Omar Vizquel. He passed up Rafael Palmeiro in last night's game.
Pretty impressive. He's also hinting that he would like to play next year as well. There was a time this season where he thought, this is probably my last year.
And you got your whole life to retire. If you can still play. It's the hardest thing to do is to take off that big league uniform. It is hard to do.
1 ball, 1 strike on Rios. He had a walk in the first, did not score.
Any uniform, period.
It's fouled off at home plate. Yeah, I would imagine there are a lot of guys in the minor leagues that have played a long time that maybe, well, Max St. Pierre that didn't get their chance, and it's kind of tough to say, all right, that's it.
He wouldn't take that uniform off. He had a dream. Max St. Pierre had a dream. And you could see that as far as the Venezuelan-born players, no one's gotten more hits than Vizquel. Galarraga on that list. Our very own Ordonez also on that list. Aparicio, Concepcion, and Bobby Abreu.
One ball, two strikes on Rios. And that's going to get away from Avila. Move the runner up. So Vizquel now is in scoring position. Wild pitch advances the runner.
So here's where Manny Ramirez has really benefited some of these White Sox hitters in just a few games that he has been a part of their organization. And by him sitting in that batter's box, in the on-deck circle, excuse me, Rios knows he's pretty much going to get something that's hittable, even though he's already has 2 strikes on him. He just needs to be patient.
Swing and a miss.
He wasn't patient.
Not at all. Third strikeout for Verlander. Well, we have a chance. We go back to the studio now. Game break time. Here's Mickey York. All right, Mickey, thank you. Here's Manny Ramirez now trying to drive in this 2-out run.
What a wicked pitch that was by Verlander to strike out Alex Rios. I mean, wicked pitch.
There's a strike.
Let's take a look at it. It's a slider, I believe. It's a Lincoln Mercury Exmo, and you can see it coming out of his hand. And you're seeing fastball if you're Rios, and Verlander throws in the mid-90s, and that ball was about a foot outside, and he couldn't hold up on it.
And he steps out with the wind kicking up. 0 for 1 with the ground out in the first inning. Ramirez has won 9 Silver Slugger awards. And he cuts and misses. Verlander at 96 and here it is, 7-2.
That's the one thing you can do to Manny these days. And when he was younger, you couldn't throw the fastball by him, but as he has gotten a little older, the bat has slowed down, and you can throw it by him on occasion.
So he's behind in the count, 0-2. One ball, 2 strikes.
But the White Sox really are doing exactly what their game plan was coming in, and that's somehow get Verlander's pitch count up into a number where Jim will be forced into taking him out of this game. He's at 55 right now, and we're in the 3rd.
Two and two.
He reminds me so much of Cabrera. And Manny, he was a young Cabrera at one point in time. He was the best right-hand hitter in the game. Cabrera, he's one of the best right-handers hitters in the game as we speak. You get ahead of them, they just lay off those breaking balls. Real good balance most of the time.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Verlander gets his 4th strikeout. They will leave the tying run at second base, but they get a run.
262-2010 or visit DetroitLions.com.
Back here at Comerica Park, it is a 2-1 ball game. Freddie Garcia apparently is done for the night. He throws 2 innings. A stiff lower back is the word on Freddie Garcia. So Ozzie has had to go to the bullpen now, and he has plucked out a right-hander, Lucas Harrell.
Only the third game now that Harrell has been in. He does have 1 win. He has a very good earned run average, only a couple of strikeouts in 6 2/3 innings. And batting average is not high. And as we get more information on Harrell, we'll pass it along to you.
So Garcia is out, and the Tigers now will face the White Sox bullpen early in this game, leading it 2-1. It'll be Jackson, then Rhymes, and Damon, the top 3 hitters in the Detroit lineup.
Harrell was just called up from AAA, pitching for the Charlotte Knights in the Chicago White Sox organization. He was a starter. He was 10-10. He had an earned run average of 4.58. So he's a guy that can give Ozzie Guillen some innings here tonight because he has been a starter in the minor leagues.
He was pretty good last year in the minor leagues. In fact, was 12-4 in his time between AA and AAA. And we'll see what he does here tonight. Jackson leads it off in the third. Austin 0 for 1 with a fly ball. Strike 1 on Austin. Garcia gave up the single and the 2-run homer in the first. A base hit, but no further damage in the second. And now he gives way to Lucas Harrell. It's off the end of the bat to first base, off the glove of Kotsay. Leadoff man is on.
And Kotsay kind of created a bad hop for himself, and getting a second look at that, he probably should have just gone back to the bag and allowed Omar Vizquel to field it. We'll see if Jackson's in a stealing mood or if Ryan is simply going to bunt him down in the scoring position as he has done so often since he's played majority of the time in the month of September.
Singled, scored a run in the first inning.
Let's take a look at where Vizquel is. He makes this play. He's got that kind of range, and if he does make that play, a little tougher because he's got to hit the pitcher on the run, but it's probably one that Kotsay would not go 0-4 if he could do it all over again.
Rhymes showing bunt, pushes one down the third base line. Barehanded play by Tien, who throws him out.
That's why Rhymes is playing himself into a possible battle next year at that second base position, depending on if they bring in somebody else. But he has definitely opened up some eyes. He got a base hit his first time up. He hits left-handers. We've already seen him make a really nice play. And every single time he goes to bunt, he gets it down with great technique. Great technique.
And that just gives the manager so many other options, doesn't it?
There's no doubt. He can do a lot of things. Take a look at the technique here. You bend the knees. You make sure you get the bat out in front. You don't want to bunt the ball behind the plate because those go foul. So you catch it out in front. You deaden it. You get it to the one you want to get it to. And you get Jackson in the scoring position.
Now Damon tries to drive him in. Johnny homered back in the first, a 2-run shot. I was talking to Damon earlier today about his batting stance and that wide open stance. I said, early in your career, you didn't bat like that, did you? You had that wide open stance. He said, no, it's something I started in 2004 when he was with the Red Sox. And he said, I just thought it was a good way to get that inside pitch a little bit more easily.
That pesky pole.
Exactly. And he got to one in the first inning.
He got a fastball at 82 miles an hour at the bottom of the strike zone, and he drilled it. And Freddie's given up 22 of those this year. Those would be big flies. Johnny also kept that same stroke playing in Yankee Stadium the last 4 years, where he had a lot of home runs too. Short porch in right field.
Well, the home run that he hit tonight was his 8th of the year, so the home run numbers have been down, but Yeah, that new approach certainly served him well in Boston and New York.
I know Luis Gonzalez, the former Tiger, who spent a little bit of time in the Tigers uniform when he went to Tiger Stadium. He kind of opened up his stance as well to take advantage of the short porch at Tiger Stadium.
Wave and a miss, and Damon goes down this time.
And Gonzalez continued that same kind of approach later on with the Arizona Diamondbacks and went on to have some really good years in their uniforms.
He's kind of an underrated player, I thought, Gonzalez.
Nice player. They're going to walk Cabrera. Open base. Why wouldn't they? They're trying to get to the postseason.
How many is that now? 29,
I believe.
29?
Closing in on an American League record.
That he is. 29 intentional walks for Miguel Cabrera. Here comes ball 3, missing outside.
Just to give you an idea how many that is, Paul Konerko leads the White Sox in intentional base on balls. He's only been given free passes 7 times.
Wow.
And he's got 33 home runs, and he's knocking on 100 RBI.
Here's the all-time American League leaderboard. Single season intentional walks. Olerud and Ted Williams with 33.
Take a look at that bottom note, though. Barry Bonds back in 2004 was intentionally walked 120 times. Not to mention the overall base on balls he had that year, well over 200.
Here is Don Kelly now with 2 on, 2 out. Can he make him pay? Ball outside, 1-0. Well, whether or not Kelly comes through in this situation, that certainly is the correct move. You got to believe. You put Cabrera down there at first base. Don't give him a chance to drive in that run.
No doubt, because he could drive in 2. He's in scoring position 2 when he's in that batter's box.
2-0 on Kelly. Don is 0 for 1 in this game. And the 2-0 is fouled away. 2-1 on Kelly. Tigers 2 runs, 3 hits. White Sox 1 run, 3 hits. Freddie Garcia started, had to leave with a stiff lower back, so Harrell came in to take over here in the 3rd.
And the Tigers hitters do not know a whole lot about Harrell. Not a lot. There's not a lot of data on him. They prepared for Freddie Garcia here tonight.
Line drive, right field. Base hit right in front of Quentin. Here comes Jackson trying to score, and he will. Ball gets away from the catcher, Pierzynski. Kelly will take second, and the Tigers lead 3-1.
You know what was most impressive about that at bat by Kelly? Yes, he knew they were walking Cabrera intentionally to get to him, but it was a very patient at bat. He didn't go out of the strike zone. He got himself into a really nice hitter's count, 2 balls, 1 strike. Harrell got the ball up, and Kelly did with it what he basically did with it last night. He had a couple hits in last night's game.
Meanwhile, Jackson scores yet another run, his 91st run scored of the year.
That is one of the hardest things for young players to do, and that's when runners are in scoring position to slow the game down, because the pitcher's the one that's on the ropes, not you.
Single E9 on the throw from Carlos Quentin. So here's Bosch now with 2 men in scoring position. He bounced out his first time up 0 for 1. On 2.
Well, Brendan's going to get a steady diet of breaking balls here tonight. That is already evident. His first time up, that's all he got from Freddie.
Bosch in the series 1 for 4. Kelly has just singled in a run, advancing to second on the bad throw by the right fielder. Verlander again has a 2-run lead, and Bosch hammers one back out of play. One ball, 2 strikes on Brennan Bosch. Lucas Harrell is out of Springfield, Missouri. And another breaking ball misses. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Bosch. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Ground ball left side. Alexi Ramirez off balance throw. Pulls it off the bag. And another run scores. 4-1 Detroit. Infield hit for Bosch.
Well, after the intentional base on balls to Cabrera, Harrell not able to stop the last couple of left-handers, and that would be Kelly and Bosch. And Alexi Ramirez has a lot of range at shortstop and a very strong throwing arm, but wisely Kotsay came off the bag to catch this ball, because had he not coming off the bag, another run would have scored.
Bosch gets his 63rd RBI of the year. Tigers up by 3 now. Here's Johnny Peralta. Ball 1 to Johnny, who's singled back in the second. Kelly at third base, Bosch at first, 2 outs. And it's fouled back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. So the intentional walk to Cabrera sets up Kelly and Bosch. They come through with a couple of 2-out hits. Right field, fair ball to the corner it goes. 1 run will score. Here comes Bosch rounding third. They'll send him home. He scores. Peralta going for third, and he is out at third base. Johnny gets a double and 2 RBIs, and the Tigers are breaking it open a little bit early here. 6-1 Detroit.
That Verlander does not hold his on the grips like most guys do, and the reason for that is when he came up in 2006, he was getting lots of blisters, so he had to teach himself a seamless curveball. He also has a changeup, and boy, did he throw an outstanding one to Quentin here today to get a strikeout. That's just a nasty pitch. And the slider that he just basically learned this year, he got Rios with that. So when he has all these pitches going with a 97, 98, sometimes 100-mile-per-hour fastballs, it could be a long night for some hitters.
Well, his teammates have given him some offense tonight. 6-1 is our score as we go to the 4th. Verlander has struck out 4, walked 1 so far in this game. Mark Teahan leads it off, and Carlos Quentin and A.J. Pierzynski in the 4th inning.
that's why a lot of hitters around baseball, especially the ones in the American League, when you start asking them about Justin Verlander, they will simply tell you he is one of the best right-handers that they've ever seen.
Swing and a miss. Right at the letters, and it's 1-2 on team.
Again, that curveball that Verlander's throwing, he said when he came up in 06, he said he kept getting blisters on his middle finger. And finally, he's just stopped holding the baseball on the seams.
What if that was happening to him in the minor leagues as well?
He didn't say that. He said the balls were hard in the big leagues.
Wow.
He said the baseballs were a lot harder, and he was throwing that breaking ball on the seams, and he just kept getting blisters, and he would miss a start here. And, you know, they have to treat it in between starts, but he's gone seamless.
Soft liner to third. One away. Here is the trivia question tonight, brought to you by AT DET. And your trivia question is, name the 4 Tiger Rookie of the Year award winners. Who knows, maybe Austin Jackson will join that list at the end of this year. 4 Tigers have won the Rookie of the Year award. Can you name them? Answer coming up in a little bit. Here's Carlos Quentin. The hook is in for a strike.
He has thrown Quentin some dandy breaking balls today. But that's one thing about Verlander, as many breaking balls as he throws you, you still have to look for that fastball. You have to respect that fastball.
Look at that pitch. 0-2.
He got Carlos talking to himself.
They struck Quentin out back in the second.
Another slider.
Ground ball to short. Routine play there for Peralta.
That's the main reason why Verlander has been able to go a little bit deeper in games. Is the fact that he started to throw that slider. And when he throws that slider, a lot of times he gets contact. And the ball's put in play just like it was put in play right there. And that kind of saves the pitch count for a little bit later on. Earlier in the year, Verlander trying to throw the ball by everybody, and they would foul off lots of pitches, and the pitch count would pile up, and he would last only 6 innings.
Pierzynski takes ball 1. Justin went back-to-back games in which he threw 8 innings against Cleveland and Toronto. His last start lasted 6. It was a wild game. The Tigers won at 13 in Minnesota. Pierzynski tonight has a single. This is Verlander's first start against the White Sox this year. And early on in his career, the White Sox gave him fits, but he started to turn that trend around last year when he beat him 3 times.
Yeah, Jim Thome was the one that was doing a lot of that damage.
Here's the 2-1. 3-1. Last year, in fact, Verlander, as you look at his overall numbers, pitched 2 complete games against Chicago. It's rolled to second base. Grimes has it. Pierzynski's out. 1-2-3 inning for Justin. Bottom of the 4th on the way. They are Harvey Keenan 53, Mark the Bird Fidrich in 76, Sweet Lou won at 78, and Verlander, of course, in 06. And who knows, maybe Austin Jackson. There's a Lou fan. Jackson right now certainly has to be considered by many as the leading candidate, although Neftali Feliz in Texas having a good year. Here are the four. Will we be adding Austin to the list?
Of course, I'm a little biased, and we watch Austin play every single day, but I'd have to say that he is probably the leader in the clubhouse to win the Rookie of the Year.
I know Andrew Bailey won it last year as a closer, but would you agree that a guy that goes out there and plays every day might be a little bit more valuable than a closer?
I do. I think the reason why Andrew got it last year, there were really no offensive players that showed up and could take that award from Bailey, although Gordon Beckham played an outstanding rookie campaign for the White Sox. He got some votes.
Two and two on Brandon Inge. Well, the numbers on Mr. Jackson this year have just been flat out awesome. And he continues to play as well here deep into the season when a lot of times guys that haven't played more than a minor league season kind of hit the wall here in September, playing another extra, 30 games or so, 20 games?
You know, something else is the fact that this guy has been able to stay so well grounded, having so much success up here in his rookie year, but yet you wouldn't know it. He's in the clubhouse, but you really don't see him. Very quiet. He's had some really nice mentors along the way.
Inge gets a walk.
As a matter of fact, let's take a look at how impressive Austin has been this year. He took CC Sabathia deep, the very first pitch he saw in Yankee Stadium, his former club, and he went on to have an outstanding series there. But what's most impressive is all the base hits he gets the opposite way. He has so much fun playing center field. I get caught now watching the next highlight film he's going to make, and he also steals bases. He can do it all. 20-plus steals and 30-something doubles for Austin Jackson.
Pretty good. Avila shoots one foul left field line.
He's having a lot of fun.
And I think he's a legitimate Gold Glove candidate next year in center field.
Well, he made 3 errors this year that were just, so uncharacteristic of how well he has played. And had he not made those 3 careless errors, he might be getting that first Gold Glove this year.
Agreed. The 0-1 is outside. Well, you had a chance to catch up to him before the game as we played that interview on our open tonight, and he just seems like he's taking it all in stride. It's really no big deal to him.
Enjoys playing defense here in front of these great fans at Comerica Park on a nightly basis.
Avila is 0 for 1. Tigers have given Verlander 6 runs on 6 hits. Swing and a miss. 1 and 2 on Alex.
Anytime you're on first base with 2 strikes, you always have to anticipate that pitcher is going to bounce a breaking ball. Although Przinsky might get down and smother it, if he does bounce it and you're Inge on first, you may as well try to get down to second.
Two and 2. Harold took over again for the starter, Freddie Garcia, who lasted 2 innings tonight, not because he was pitching poorly, but because his back stiffened up. So Lucas had to come out of the bullpen. And the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Avila is out of there. It's his second strikeout.
Hey, fans, see the Tigers battle the White Sox tomorrow at 7:05 and Thursday at 1:05. Enjoy the weekday value pack. 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 soft drinks, and 4 bags of chips for only $55. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or online at tigers.com for the weekday value pack.
1 on, 1 out. Here is the aforementioned Austin Jackson reaching out an air and scoring a run in the third.
Rios, the center fielder, plays Jackson about 10 steps on the second base side of second base because he does get so many hits in that direction.
There's a base hit to left. Single for Jackson. 2 men on.
Jackson's looking to hit the ball up the middle, but because Harrell hung the breaking ball here, he got out there with his body. Take a look at him load. Now he's out there, and then he recognizes breaking ball, and he has to pull his hands inside. And most guys pull breaking balls if you're right-handed, and that's exactly what Jackson does. But that's what I was talking about. That's why he's hitting over 300. Most young players that are in the big leagues today, they don't have that gift of using the entire baseball field. Not yet.
Here's Will Rhymes. Singled, scored a run in the first. And sacrificed in his last at bat. He pushed a beautiful bunt down the third base line, which moved the runner up, Jackson, and he eventually scored. 315 average now for Will. We're going to see what kind of production Rhymes can give you playing on a daily basis, as it appears now that he'll start the majority of the games down the stretch here, with Guillen unlikely to come back.
I think Will has pretty much showed us the kind of player that he is and the kind of player that he can be. I don't think there will be a whole lot more production out of him other than simply what he's done. He's a nice table setter. He can run. He can defend. He can bunt. He's getting some timely hits. He's just playing real good, confident baseball right now.
Bouncing ball to short. Ramirez to his right. There's one. Relay. Not in time. He beat it out.
That might lead to another run. The fact that that's a routine double play ball, but because of the speed of Rhymes, Ramirez and Vizquel not able to turn it over. Real good speed. Hard hit, firm feed, nice throw by Vizquel. Rhymes by the bag.
So that keeps the inning going for Johnny Damon, who hit a 2-run homer back in the first.
And those are the things that do not show up in the box score.
Rhymes, by the way, now has been on base in each of his last 15 straight games. Brzezinski blocks it. Runners hold.
That one jumped up and bit Brzezinski too. And Will anticipating something in the dirt, took a couple of steps in that direction and then quickly retreated back to first because the ball didn't get that far from AJ.
Wave and a miss. 2-1. Driven to center field. Rios is there. And the inning is over. Tigers threaten, do not score. We go to the fifth. Chicago won yesterday, but the Tigers backing up the pitching of Justin Verlander tonight, leading by 5. Paws hanging out tonight as well. Mark Kotsay leads it off for Chicago. It'll be Kotsay, then Ramirez, and Juan Pierre. First pitch strike on Kotsay. He's 0 for 1. Tigers have the White Sox in here for 4. Then Baltimore comes in over the weekend. See what all the clamoring's about now that Buck Showalter has taken over as the manager of that team.
He's got him playing hard. That much you can bet.
We'll see that on display over the weekend here. Here's Verlander's 1-1. 1-2 on Kotsay. Justin had a 1-2-3 fourth. He has fanned 3 in this game. The only run, an RBI single by Vizquel. That was back in the 3rd. Check the strikeout total, 4 for Verlander, not 3. I shorted him 1. The hook misses outside. 2-2.
He has thrown a couple of curveballs in this sequence to Kotsay, but he's overthrown them. He had an outstanding breaking ball through the first 4, and he was not overthrowing them, but he's thrown 2 in this sequence, and not a good feel for him.
Fouled away.
Very few fastballs has he thrown to the White Sox here tonight. Real good feel for his other 3 pitches. And he's throwing them all for strikes.
And again back out of play. Verlander with a win tonight would win his 15th of the season, which would give him 4 seasons of 15 or more victories in his first 6 major league seasons. A big time winner since bursting onto the scene. Hammered toward left field. Kelly is on the run, and he reaches to make the catch.
Hey fans, you want to be at Comerica Park this Friday when they take on the Baltimore Orioles at 7:05. The first 10,000 fans 16 and over receive a Tigers fan only parking sign. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com.
Here's Alexi Ramirez. He takes ball 1. Alexi bounced out. In fact, it was a nice play by Will Rhymes his last time. By the way, here's that sign that you were talking about, Rob.
It's pretty sweet.
It is pretty sweet. Check it out.
You got to get us one of those.
There's Chuck Fair in the background as well. He's our stage manager. That's fouled back out of play. But it is pretty cool. I mean, you can hang this in your room. You can actually hang it in the garage.
Anything with the old English D works.
You know what this is good for, Rod? You can park your Porsche in front of this thing.
I wish I had one of those. I wish I had one of those.
But it's great.
I got kids in college.
Here's the 1-2, and it's a ground ball to short.
And they take every nickel I got.
Don't they, though? Even when they're not in college. 2 outs. So Verlander just cruising along now. 7 straight he's retired. Here's Juan Pierre.
I was listening to some of Ozzie Guillen's comments after last night's game, and he talked about just how much of a struggle that was to win that game yesterday. And one of the reasons why he said is Jim Leland. He said he's one of the best managers in the game. He gets the most out of his players, and he knows these young kids that he has playing right now are giving him everything that they've got, and they still have Cabrera, who can be dangerous, and you got to look at Verlander. So Ozzie Guillen believes the Tigers can be a scary team against some of the teams that are trying to get to the playoffs. They got some pieces.
2-0 pitch. I think it's safe to say there's always been a mutual respect between Ozzie Guillen and Jim Leyland.
Well, Jim's first year as a coach in Chicago. That was Ozzie's first year as a player. That's the year Ozzie Guillen won the Rookie of the Year, playing shortstop for the White Sox.
Three and one. Juan Pierre tonight with a double and a run scored. Vizquel is waiting on deck. He knocked in Pierre back in the third. There's another strike, 3-2. Pierre's just one of those guys that does all the little things. Second in sacrifices and infield hits. He leads in stolen bases. He's also been hit 18 times. And he slaps one to left, base hit.
And he got off to a slow start. It was his first time playing in the American League. It was a little bit of an adjustment for Juan Pierre, but after about the first 6 weeks of the year, when he got hot, the rest of the team got hot along with that pitching staff. So he has done a very nice job for Ozzie Guillen in that leadoff spot.
Here comes Vizquel. Omar with the RBI single in the third. Oh, 0-1. Avila down to block that one. 1 ball, 1 strike on the veteran Vizquel. Runner going. Here comes the throw down to second. The tag, and he is out at second base. Alex Avila cuts down the leading base stealer in baseball. Juan Pierre is thrown out. And that's all for Chicago here in the fifth.
On 3 weeks ago here at Comerica Park on him quickening his delivery, giving catchers time to throw. And when you give Avila time to throw, he has proven that he can throw out some of the best base stealers in this league. And Juan Pierre would fall into that category. But it's all about Verlander giving him time to throw.
And a good solid throw, nailed Pierre, who was caught for the 16th time this year. Cabrera leading off the bottom of the fifth. Miguel, then Don Kelly and Brennan Bosch.
Dangerous count here for the youngster Harold. Ooh, what a pitch. Nice little two-seam fastball at 91 miles an hour. Real nice pitch. Take a look at the late life on the pitch, the movement.
Ground ball to short. Alexi Ramirez has it. Taking his time with it, too. One gone. That'll bring up Don Kelly. Kelly with an RBI single in the third after they walked Cabrera intentionally. The third inning has turned out to be a big one for Detroit. They scored 4 times, and they turned a 2-1 lead into a 6-1 lead. Kelly now with 21 RBIs and 4 RBIs in this series alone. Wave and a miss, 0-1. Here's the 0-2 pitch. White Sox came into this one having won 7 consecutive ball games. That streak is on the line tonight. They've been able to win at least the first game of the series without Konerko. A little looper toward left. Pierre can't quite get there, but it bounces back into the seats. 0-2 on Kelly.
I was talking to Konerko down on their bench before the game today, and he said he could have played today and expects to be back in their lineup tomorrow night here. He's had a real nice year. 318, 33, 98 driven in. Paul Konerko quietly has put himself in that MVP conversation. Hamilton probably would get it today. There's about 3 or 4 other guys that are at least in that conversation. Cabrera's right there at the top. Konerko, Robinson Cano as well.
Pulled to second base for Vizquel.
Because the White Sox were not getting much offense out of anybody else at the beginning of the year other than Konerko.
You think Hamilton would get it right now?
I do.
Do you?
I do. His numbers are ridiculous.
Well, he's hitting .361. He is banged up right now.
And I love Cabrera. But I just think that Hamilton would get it right now.
Hamilton is almost 30 points higher in the batting average column. He's only hit 2 fewer home runs than Cabrera, so maybe you're right.
But some of the other categories, Cabrera was off the charts in on-base percentage, slugging percentage, home runs, 300 total bases, although Hamilton has about 325 total bases.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what the rest of September has to offer and who will win that award. It'd be nice, obviously, for a Tiger to win it.
Hamilton's going to be out for a while, though. They don't know how long he's going to be out. I guess he's got some kind of rib injury. But Cabrera, he's not healthy either. You can see holding that left shoulder down, like in an area where it don't feel all that good. Kind of slumped over. Yeah, but sometimes you have to play in a little pain.
1-2 on Bosch. Bosch RBI single in the third. For Bosch to still be leading all American League rookies in homers and RBIs despite his second half slump really points to what he had done when he first came up as he bangs a single to left.
That's the second knock he's taken the opposite way today. He might be learning something. Not trying to do too much with 2 strikes, just kind of letting the ball travel, taking it the other way. It's a really nice approach.
2-out single. It's going to bring up Peralta, who had a huge hit back in the third, a 2-out 2-run double. Which now means that Peralta has 24 RBIs in a Tigers uniform in 36 games. Tigers now have at least one hit in every inning so far in this game. They have totaled 8 in the hit column. Runner going. Here's the throw. And the tag. Got him. Bosch is caught stealing. Inning over. 5 in the books here at Comerica. To be eligible to win a fantastic prize pack any baseball fan would love. Meyer, higher standards, lower prices. On our way to the 6th inning now at Comerica Park. 6-1. The Tigers lead the Chicago White Sox. And Omar Vizquel, who was at the plate when Pierre was caught trying to steal, was leading off the 6th inning. Vizquel and then Rios and then Manny Ramirez. The 0-1 is right at the knees for strike 2.
Looks like Verlander kind of pitching backwards today. He came out the first 5 innings with lots of breaking balls and fastball counts, and now it looks like he's come back to that piece of cheese at 95.
Swing and a miss.
He is dealing today. Look out, JV. We see you, boy.
This is the 5th strikeout of the ball game now for Verlander.
He is feeling it tonight. This curveball is unhittable.
There's Alex Rios. He struck Rios out back in the 3rd. Alex also has a walk in this game. Ball 1. Now, Verlander has allowed just 4 hits in this contest and only 1 run that came back in the 3rd. Justin now has retired 8 of the last 9. One more stolen base this year for Rios, and he establishes a career high 32 right now, which is the most he had stolen in a Toronto uniform. 2-1. Did he go? Nope. Ryan Gorman said he did not go.
I believe he was a 30-30 man that year. He stole 30 bases. I believe he had 30 home runs that year as well.
2-time All-Star. Fouled straight back. 3-2 on Rios, who hit his 100th big league homer earlier this year in July. Another foul straight back.
Check that. He did not hit 30 home runs that year. He stole 30-plus bases.
How many?
That year, I believe, I didn't look. It wasn't 30.
15, they tell us. Three-2 on Rios. Popped him up, but is headed back toward the seats. Vince can't get it. Nobody can. So Verlander here in the 6th inning now has crossed the 100 plateau. 101. Long at bat here for Rios. 9th pitch coming up in this at bat. And the 3-2. That's a foul ball. And again, the 3-2 pitch. He got him, strike 3. Verlander finally takes care of him. That is his 6th strikeout. We go back to the studio. Time for a game break with Mickey York. Thanks, Mickey. Here it is 6-1. Tigers broke it open a bit in the early innings with a 4-run third. And Verlander has done everything else. He has just hit Manny Ramirez, and so does Alex Avila. He goes down as well. Verlander took out 2 guys with that pitch. Looks like Avila got it on the leg. Ramirez is at first base. That thing was pinballing all the way around. Stomach, the thigh, and it hit Manny as well. Here's Martin. He waves and misses 0-1. Tien is 0 for 2, strikeout and a lineout. 5-year veteran of the Kansas City Royals who finds himself in a pennant push for the first time in his career. The Royals yearly were struggling, and it seemed like they're rebuilding, and they still are. And Tien never had a chance to experience what he is right now. Now the 1-1. 1-2. Verlander's throwing literally everything tonight. He's given up just 4 hits. Down the left field line, foul. Tigers meanwhile have 6 runs on 8 hits. Bouncing ball to first. Right there is Cabrera. He'll step on the bag. Inning over. No runs, a hit batter, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 6th.
I'm going to take you back a few innings. It's Will Rhymes at second, taking a base hit away from Alexi Ramirez, diving, stretching out, quickly getting to his feet, and firing a strike to Cabrera. Coors Light Freeze Can is always brought to you by your Frost Brewed Coors Light.
So Will Rhymes making himself felt here in this game. He has a single, a sacrifice, nice defensive play. And the Tigers have a 6-1 lead in this game as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. We have a new second baseman now. Brent Lillibridge has taken over for Vizquel. Peralta was at the plate back in the 5th inning when Bosch was caught trying to steal. 2-1 on Johnny. 2-run double back in the 3rd. And he shatters his bat, rolls one back up the middle. Barehanding Ramirez. One gone.
He's a good athlete, Alexi Ramirez. He can play a lot of different positions. He can play second. He can play center. He is now their shortstop. He comes in and he barehands this ball while it's still on the move. And we've seen this play quite often in the last week or so. Guys making barehanded plays while the ball's still on the move.
Santiago did it, didn't he?
Peralta did it too, I believe. Peralta and Santiago in the same game.
Here's Brandon. Cabrera chatting with Leland and Kevin Rand, the head athletic trainer. That last shot we had of him an inning ago, it just looked like Cabby was kind of scuffling a bit.
Well, he's not healthy. He's not 100%, but most guys on the field aren't. But I guess the question is, you can play in pain, but you can't play if you're hurt.
That's going to be a tough play for Tien, and he can't make it.
And I think that's the decision the Tigers have to make as far as Cabrera is concerned. Is it pain, or is it something that could hurt you long range? I talked to Kevin Rand about it yesterday, and he's talking to Cabrera right now, and he said, well, it's something that we're going to have to monitor all year long. We heat it up. We give him massages. We do lots of different things to try to get him, warm enough to where he can play, but it's something he might have to battle the remainder of the year. Looks like he's done. They finally convinced him to take the rest of the night off.
Here's Avila. Last play ruled a base hit for Brandon Inge. Well, Jim Leyland will make the changes to his lineup card. Get a new first baseman when we get to the 7th. 9 Tigers hits, and they lead 6-1. Alex, a ground ball and a strikeout. In fact, right now the only Tiger that is yet to reach base tonight. Everybody else has been on base at least once. Two and one on Avila. Harrell is still out there. He took over in the 3rd after the starter Garcia left with a stiff back. Verlander, meanwhile, has been marching through the Chicago lineup all night. Only 4 hits allowed. That one missed again. 3-1. Jackson waiting on Det. 3-1 on Alex Avila. 1 on and 1 out. Runner goes. Swing and a miss. Here comes Pierzynski's throw. It's into center field. Inge will hold at second base.
Hey fans, as soon as the game ends, our coverage continues with Tigers Live. You'll hear from the manager, Jim Leyland, and the players. Plus, we'll break down the game, show you all the highlights. Tigers Live from the Call Sam Studios immediately after the game here on Fox Sports Detroit.
Third stolen base of the year for Brandon. 3-2 on Avila. Fouled away. Got a piece of it, staying alive. Minnesota tonight is at home against KC. They are 2-0 in the third. Minnesota leading that game. Chicago trying to figure out how to gain some ground on Minnesota. They've won 7 straight, but the Twins have run 4 straight.
Well, it's going to be hard. Minnesota plays its best baseball in the second half of the year under their skipper, Ron Gardenhire. And that allows them to get into the postseason just about every single season.
And there's a walk to Avila. The third walk now for Harrell. That'll set up Austin Jackson. Lucas Harrell has thrown 83 pitches.
He has saved that bullpen for Ozzie Guillen here today. In a night where Freddie Garcia had to leave after 2 because of back soreness. You need somebody that can come in and eat up some innings for you.
Oh, and 1 on Jackson. Single to the fourth, scored a run in the third. There's a strike called. 0-2. And the 0-2 pitch. Will go down the right field line, but foul. And there's some activity now. Carlos Torres is beginning to warm up. He was just called up. Dayan Viciedo was also called up for the Chicago White Sox. Scott Sizemore called up for the Tigers. 0-2 on Jackson. Line drive caught, and they'll get a double play. Hit it like a bullet, and the Tigers are out of the inning. We go to the 7th.
It's been a dandy today. As a matter of fact, if you weren't with us earlier, Verlander told me that he can just throw this breaking ball up there in an area, and he knows he's going to get enough to at least to get the hitter to swing or to take it. And by so many of the guys taking that breaking ball today, gives you an idea of just how outstanding that pitch has been for Justin tonight.
So much so that he's given up just 4 hits. The Tigers make a change as we anticipated. Don Kelly will move to first base, and Ryan Rayburn takes over in left field. Kelly will bat, or Rayburn rather, will bat in the number 4 spot in the lineup, vacated by Cabrera. Carlos Quentin leads it off against Justin Verlander as we go to the 7th, and the Tigers lead by 5. First pitch, a breaking ball away, 1-0. Carlos Quentin has been anything but hard hitting in this series, 0 for 6. And he pops it up foul. Avila giving chase out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike on Quentin. You can tell he is built solidly. When he was in high school, he was a linebacker in football and was also quite a basketball player as well. Won a state championship in his high school basketball team in the San Diego area. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Quentin went on to play at Stanford. Here's the 1-2 offering. Into the glove for strike 3, and Verlander has another. That'll be his 7th. Well, it's time for True Tigers Stories presented by Farmers Insurance. On this date in 1950, Tigers outfielder Hoot Evers hits for the cycle against the Cleveland Indians at Briggs Stadium. The game is halted by darkness after 10 innings, and the score tied 13-13. Visit farmers.com to hear real true stories from Farmers Insurance customers. Farmers Insurance, ready, feels good. Swung on and belted deep in the air to right center field. That ball is way back, and that ball is off the wall. Pierzynski will cruise into second. He's in there with a long double. AJ now with 2 hits tonight. Only the 5th of the game for Chicago.
Well, Pierzynski up there looking for the first pitch fastball from Verlander. He got that first pitch fastball. It was down, it was in, and he just dropped a bad hit on it. And when you're as hot as Pierzynski has been lately, every time you swing the bat, you're going to get a base hit. And his numbers against Verlander are really good.
Wave and a miss. Katse chasing a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Two of the 5 hits for the White Sox belong to Pierzynski. That's driven in the air to left field. Rayburn backing up. And there are 2 outs.
Shortstop, Alexi Ramirez.
That'll bring up Alexi Ramirez. Alexi is 0 for 2. Bouncing ball to third. Inge on the charge. Has it in fair territory. And he throws, but it's dropped at first base by Kelly. That would have been a tremendous play by Inge, but Kelly unable to hold on to it.
And Brandon comes over, and Brandon's one that makes his play off the right foot, and he throws it in. He gets glove on it, does Kelly. So more than likely, Don will be given the air on that play.
It is an E3. First Tigers error of the night. And so that keeps the door open here for Juan Pierre. Swing and a miss. Verlander reaching back right now. That was his 118th pitch.
And he threw it at 98 miles an hour. He is just a freak, really.
That one to 97. Tardy on it was Pierre.
He's got the perfect windup, perfect delivery. Gets to a really nice balanced position with that front leg, which allows the arm to catch up. And he's got a whole lot of talent to go along with that. A powerful right arm.
Almost fell off the mound that time. 1-2.
Sometimes Verlander gives you so much body that it appears that you're going to get that fastball because there's so much aggression in his body, and he flips that breaking ball up there. He will fall off balance on occasion when he does that.
Popped him up. Right side of the infield, back to the grass. Rhymes, and it's going to be caught by the right fielder, Bosch, who came in to make a basket catch. Verlander says, whoa. He'll take it, though. White Sox leave a pair and a scary-looking play. I got it. You take it. White Sox. Lucas Harrell is out of there, and now they go to the right-hander, just called up, and that would be Carlos Torres.
That's one of the things that you can do when rosters expand. You can call up a few of the guys and take a real nice look at them in the month of September. And he has already pitched quite a bit this year, 160 innings down the minor league with a .500 record and a really nice earned run average. How about that bottom note? The opponent's batting average, .217. You know, I was talking earlier about Will Rhymes and his technique as far as bunting is concerned. One of the things that he's able to do, he got a base hit yesterday, but today you see he gets that bat out in front of home plate. And when you do make contact with the baseball, you're able to catch the ball out in front, which means that more than likely it's going to be a fair ball. That one on the left, he was just trying to get out of the way of that one and still able to get a base hit there. So he got a little luck going too.
Rhymes, Damon Rayburn here in the 7th inning. Tigers lead 6-1. Torres' first pitch is called a strike. That was at the Old English D of Rhymes. Choose one foul the other way, 0-2. Rhymes had a single, scored a run in the first, sacrificed in the third, reached on a fielder's choice, beating out a double play ball in the fourth. Carlos Torres was born in Santa Cruz, California. He lives in Manhattan, Kansas. Why? Well, because he went to Kansas State. Located in Manhattan. A 1-2. Swing and a miss. And Rhymes has disposed of. 1 away. Hey, Hockey Town, you can still see the Red Wings face every original 16 with Joe with a partial season ticket plan. Design a 9 or 19 game plan to fit your schedule for as low as $225. Here's the phone number, 313-396-7575, or visit DetroitRedWings.com. Bouncing ball to short to the grass. Ramirez, nice backhanded play. Damon is out. 2 away. That'll bring up Rayburn. Ryan getting his first at bat. Sliding into Cabrera's old spot. Miguel is out of the ball game tonight. And they just announced that it's again the biceps tendonitis, taking Cabrera out of the game begrudgingly. Didn't look like he wanted to go. There's a ball outside. 1-0. Tigers broke this one open a bit with a 4-run third. Neither team has scored since. 1-1 on Rayburn. Weinhardt is warming up in the Detroit bullpen. Line to center field, base hit. Rayburn is hitting everything these days. So he's on with a 2-out single. He's going to make it an even 10 hits now for Detroit. We'll bring up Don Kelly. Verlander in command tonight. And he'll probably give way to the bullpen when we get to the 8th inning. Ball 1. Lucas Harrell threw 87 pitches in his 4 innings of work. Giving way to Torres here. Ball 2 on Kelly. Reno. And there's a strike. 3-1 on Don. 21 RBIs now. He singled in a run in the 3rd and has driven in 4 in the first 2 games in the series.
A good count to hit in. You're going to get a fastball. 3-1, about 88 miles an hour. Check that. 86.
3-2. Bosch on deck. Runner going, swing and a miss. Kelly is out, so are the Tigers. 7 in the books. 6-1 Detroit. in the first inning. And Miguel Cabrera had to leave this game again with shoulder bicep tendonitis. Justin Verlander, 7 innings tonight, 1 earned run. He walked 1 and struck out 7. And Verlander was getting it done with some high octane, especially later in his start in this game. He will give way to Robbie Weinhardt, who will take over now as we go to the 8th. Lillibridge is leading it off. Here are some of those numbers on Verlander in terms of pitches. 95 miles an hour plus. He threw 27 of them tonight. 6 in the 7th inning. Lillibridge cuts and misses. Here's the 0-2 from Weinhardt. Breaking ball looked good, but a tad low. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Brent Lillibridge, batting .283. And that one just missed again.
Yeah, Lillibridge did a very nice job of not swinging at that last slider.
Leland said yesterday and today that one of the things that he has seen out of Weinhardt since coming back from the minor leagues is an improvement in that slider. He's fallen behind here, 3-2. And it's foul tipped into the glove for strike 3. Got him on the fastball. Also entering the game, Casper Wells. He's now in right field. Here's Alex Rios. Rios on base back in the first via the walk. And a strikeout victim his last 2 times up against Verlander. Tomorrow it'll be Bonderman and John Danks in game 3 in the series. There's a strike called, 1-1. Bondo, who'll get the call, looking for his 8th win. Then Porcello on Thursday.
And Bonderman did some nice work his last start against the Kansas City Royals in Kansas City. Got off to a sluggish start. Did not have the best control that day, but after the Tigers had played several games of extra innings on that road trip, Bonderman stayed out there into the 8th inning. It was a really good effort by Bondo.
And the 1-2. With a chopper back to the mound. Weinhardt bobbles it. Still has time. And he threw it away. Rios will head to second base. And he'll be stopped there as the ball gets into the seats.
Well, once you mishandle it, once you do pick it up, you can't panic. And that's exactly what Weinhardt did there. And once you panic, you hurry your throw and you just kind of throw the ball too aggressively. And Kelly had no shot at even getting glove on that baseball.
So the Tigers get another error. It's going to bring up Manny Ramirez. Two errors actually on that play. One for the bobble, one for the throw. The Tigers now have 3 errors in the game. Tigers tonight have out hit the White Sox 10-5. They lead by 5 runs late. Manny Ramirez hit by a pitch in his last at bat. That was in the 6th. He's 0 for 2. One thing Manny will bring to this White Sox team if they do get to the postseason is a presence in the postseason. He's played in 111 postseason games. And he has hit a total of 29 postseason home runs, which is the most. And he's been hit again. Manny Ramirez hit for the second time. He was hit by Verlander in the 6th, and now Weinhardt here in the 8th.
I was again along with their head trainer, Herm Schneider, who has been with the White Sox for 32 years, taking a look at Manny. And more than likely he will pinch run for Manny. Manny will be done for the night. Two-seam fastball got away from Weinhardt and crowded Manny.
Alejandro De Aza will come on a pinch run. Have a listen. So Manny is out of the game.
Hey fans, you can follow the Tigers on your iPhone, iPod Touch, BlackBerry, and Android phones with MLB.com at Bat 2010, featuring play-by-play video highlights and live audio broadcasts. Visit Tigers.com today for more details.
There's the pinch runner, De Aza. So he's at first base. Rios at second, and now Martin. And the White Sox now one big swing from getting back into this game. Oh, 0-1 on Tien. He's 0 for 3. There's action of the Tigers bullpen. Phil Koch, the lefty, and Ryan Perry, the righty. Weinhardt trying to get through this 8th inning. Could use a ground ball here. And he missed high. 2-1. Here's the 2-1. Lifted back out of play. 2-2. Carlos Quentin on deck. Rios reaching on a couple of errors on one play. Ramirez hit by a pitch. And the 2-2. Outside, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Tien tonight is 0 for 3. Ground ball, line out, strikeout. Fouled away. Bouncing ball to short, could be 2. There's 1. Rhymes with a relay. Double play. Reinhardt gets out of the jam with a double play. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire. Spartan.com. National Coney Island, fast, fresh, and friendly since 1965. And by Jaguar. Visit your local Jaguar dealer to experience the 2011 Jaguar XJ. Back here in the Motor Cities, we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Tigers in command of this one right now. 6-1 is our score. And Detroit in the 8th inning will have Casper Wells leading it off. Rick Knapp having a chat with Weinhardt, who got the big double play ball. Ending that threat in the top of this inning. Here's Wells, his first at bat, and he fouls one away.
And Rick Knapp probably talking to Weinhardt about attacking the strike zone a little bit more efficiently. He was able to get ahead of some of the White Sox hitters, but pushed the counts to 3 balls before finally getting that double play, a ball to get out of that inning. But he's got the kind of stuff to where he can throw some strikes with the movement he has on his 2-seamer and get big league hitters out.
Ooh, that one nailed the home plate umpire, Angel Campos, and down he goes. He was absolutely drilled, and he staggered and then fell back. And it appeared to get him in the neck. Oh. The collarbone? Yikes.
I don't think A.J. Przinsky got a glove on that ball. He did not. Wow.
Well, that was what you heard there was a direct hit to Campos. At least he got on his feet quickly. Looks like he's going to be okay. That's good news. Well, we have a second here. We'll check out the voting and how it's going for our Tigers McDonald's player of the game, Justin Verlander. With 40% of the vote, Will Rhymes with 15%, Johnny Damon with 12%. It's brought to you by the McDonald's New Angus Snack Wraps. You can still vote. Still plenty of time, and we'll have the final results on Tigers Live. One ball, one strike on Casper Wells. Right back up the middle into center field. Leadoff single.
Casper Wells has made the most of the opportunities that he's been given lately. Playing with a whole lot of confidence these days. Did not have a big year, at least from a batting average standpoint down the minor league, but the power numbers were good. But he's hit for average since coming back to the big leagues this season.
There's Johnny Peralta. It'll be the 11th hit now for Detroit. Peralta had a big 2-run double, which capped that 4-run third.
And he hit the ball down the right field corner, which is something that he does not do a whole lot of. Right field is somewhat foreign to Peralta.
It's fouled away. Minnesota now has opened up a 9-1 lead on Kansas City.
Minnesota beats the teams that they're supposed to beat.
Brzezinski keeps it in front of him. That's 2-2 on Peralta.
And don't think for one moment the Minnesota Twins aren't doing a little scoreboard watching, looking up to see exactly what the score is here tonight against their closest pursuer, the Chicago White Sox.
And vice versa. Chicago by the end of the night could be 4.5 out if the two scores hold up.
White Sox have had a very difficult time this year beating Minnesota. They've lost all their series to the Minnesota Twins this year, whether it be at a U.S. Cellular Field or the sparkling new home at Target Field in Minnesota. They just can't really beat them. they'll need to do so next week when they hook up for the final time of the year if they're going to get back in this thing or close the gap as far as the lead is concerned.
2-2 on Johnny Peralta. Torres came on last half inning, and he misses low. 3-2. Brandon waiting on deck. He's been on base twice tonight. Runner going, and it's line to left. Base hit. Wells hits the bag at second. He's coming to third. He's in there standing up. Peralta has another hit. That's his third hit of the night.
Not a good breaking ball here from Torres. 3-2. It's a hanger. And Johnny climbs the ladder and clobbers it.
12 Tigers hits. NJ single and a walk in this game, plus a stolen base. Nobody out. 8th inning. Tigers threatening to add to their 6-1 lead. Fouled off. 1-1. Fly ball, left field, hit well, way back. Pierre will watch this one fly. It is way out of here. Ames with a 3-run homer. Number 10 of the year for Brandon.
It looked like Brandon got a breaking ball at about 85 miles an hour here that really didn't do a whole lot. And we told you earlier that there's a pretty brisk, crisp wind blowing out to left. And it appeared that Inge got it up in that jet stream. And the left fielder, Juan Pierre, took a couple of steps and watched that one fly bye-bye.
9-1 Tigers. The 13th hit of the night is a 3-run shot by Brandon Inge. Avila takes high.
All 3 of the Tigers' hits have come on breaking balls from Torres, so apparently that's the pitch he likes to throw, or it's the one that AJ's putting down, one of the 2.
Inge now has 59 RBIs. Two and one. Single by Wells, single by Peralta, 3-run homer by Inge. That's driven to the air, deep to center field. Rios is under it, and center swallowed that one up, one gone. Now the top of the order, Austin Jackson. Guillen coming out of the dugout. And so it looks like Ozzie will make a pitching change here. So we'll step aside. They'll be going to the bullpen. We'll be back.
in tomorrow for Game 3 of this series against the White Sox. Coverage begins at 6:30 with Tigers Live, followed by the game at 7. Tigers Baseball presented by Bell Tire tomorrow evening on Fox Sports Detroit and on Fox Sports Detroit HD. It'll be John Danks who comes in 13-9 with a really good earned run average. He's got some strikeouts, doesn't walk that many, lots of mound presence. And he'll be going up against the Bulldog, Jeremy Bonderman, who comes in 7-9 with 99 strikeouts and 44 walks. So you don't want to miss that one.
Well, tonight the Tigers are in command of this one, 9-1. And we have a new pitcher now making his big league debut. Gregory Infante is in.
He comes in with 34 strikeouts in 26 in 1/3 innings, and the opponent's batting average is at .235. He pitched the majority of the season in Double-A. And apparently he's got a real nice strikeout pitch. Anytime you see a pitcher with a strikeout or better in inning, they've got a legitimate swing and miss pitch.
Infante born in Caracas, Venezuela. We have a new catcher as well. Tyler Flowers will take over for Pierzynski. So Flowers, one of their better prospects behind the plate, getting some action now late in this game. 9-1 ball game. Here's Austin Jackson. First pitch is up high to Austin.
Yeah, there's that strikeout pitch. A mid-90s fastball.
One and one. Infante is listed at 6'2", 185 out of Caracas. Was signed as a free agent back in 2006. Inside to Jackson, 3-1. Foul back out of play, 3-2. Jackson tonight is 1 for 4. Been on base twice and scored a run. 3-run homer in this inning by Brandon Inge has made it a 9-1 game. And he walked in ball 4. So he walks his first big league hitter. Infante will face Will Rhymes. Rhymes has a hit and a sacrifice in this game. He's also scored a run. Tigers tonight 9 runs on 13 hits, and the Tigers have used 2 pitchers and they have given up 5 hits. Verlander started, went 7, and then Weinhardt came on in the 8th. That's low. 2-1. Driven to center field. Rios just about on his tracks. Jackson retreats, 2 gone.
We have not seen Will Rhymes do a whole lot of that this year. And that's hit fly balls that fly harmlessly into the outfielder's gloves. He does not have that kind of power to hit home runs. And for the most part, he's been able to get on top of the baseball. Lots of ground balls, lots of line drives, which bodes well for his speed.
Damon had a 2-run homer early. Got the Tigers offense off and running in that first inning. A 2-run shot, his 8th of the year.
That was a big blow because they had had very little success against Freddie Garcia in the past. and in this park, really no success at all. He had dominated the Tigers here in their own ballpark.
Right back up the middle and off the bag into center field. Jackson holds at second base, and Damon has his second hit. 2 on with 2 outs. Hits now 14 for Detroit.
The two-seam fastball down and away, and really all Damon did was drag those hands through the bat zone, and that makes sure that barrel of the bat gets over the heart of the plate. Hit that ball hard. Right past Infante.
Here's Rayburn.
He's been hitting everything hard lately.
Ryan came on in the 7th inning earlier in this game and has only one at bat, a single. Fouled back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gregory Infante in his big league debut for the White Sox here in the 8th. Walked the first batter he faced, then he got a fly ball, and he's given up a single. And the 1-1. Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike.
And you'd have to imagine that a lot of these kids like Harrell and Torres and Infante that are pitching in this game that have not pitched a whole lot in the big leagues, they will not get innings late in games where the White Sox win because their bullpen is pretty much intact. So they'll be pitching in games when the score is lopsided.
2-2 as it is here tonight. 9-1. There's Bobby Jenks. Swing and a miss. Rayburn goes down to end the inning. Tigers add 3 more in the inning, though. Inch goes deep. Lengthens the lead to 9-1. The 9th inning here, as you just told us. 9-1 is our score. Tigers about hit him tonight. 14-5, and Weinhardt back to the hill. Brent Morrill is pinch hitting here for Quinton. And Weinhardt throws it by him. Another major league debut. Hit 320 at Charlotte this year. With a little bit of pop, 8 home runs. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Missed it high, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now 2-2 the count. He was ranked by Baseball America as the number 4 prospect in the Chicago system. And he rolls that one foul. Also their best hitter for average in their organization. They had a big league debut on the mound with Infante, now a big league hitter making his debut. And the 2-2. It's fouled back out of play. 2 more to go against these White Sox. Then Baltimore comes in. Fondo going tomorrow night. And hopefully trying to keep that string of good starts going. The Tigers starters have been really good. Another foul back out of play. Only 5 Chicago hits tonight. Scherzer pitching yesterday. Verlander today. Swing and a miss. Strikeout for Weinhardt is second. 1 out for Flowers. This is catching prospect we've been talking about that the White Sox have in their organization. He's in the big leagues now.
A.J. Burzinski is a free agent after this year, so it remains to be seen whether he'll be wearing a White Sox uniform next year or he'll be taking his talents elsewhere.
A.J. done for the night. Fouled straight back. He was ranked the number 2 prospect in their entire organization and their best power hitting prospect. So they're taking a look, even in a pennant race, at some of the younger players, stacking their bench a little bit. 2-1. Flowers 24 years old. Weinhardt missing again. 3 balls, 1 strike.
We might see some of that power right here from Flowers. He's got himself in a predictable fastball count. Down by 8. Nice little 2-seamer at the bottom of the strike zone by Weinhardt. Good moving fastball.
"16 homers in Charlotte this year, the AAA team, but he hit just .220. He's a midseason all-star there. And the 3-2. And he got him, strike 3. Reinhardt has his 3rd strikeout. 2 away.
It's a fastball that got quite a bit of plate there with 2 strikes. Flowers must have been looking for something else or just couldn't pull the trigger.
So Dayan Viciedo will pinch hit now. Tigers 1 out away from putting this one in the win column. That's a foul ball, barely. 0-1 on Viciedo. Big numbers at Charlotte. He's been up and down a couple of times. 20 home runs down in AAA in 86 games. The 0-1. Viciedo did some damage in his first stint here with the big club. 7 home runs and 21 starts. That was in June. And he takes just off the plate. 3-1. Weinhardt trying to put the wraps on this one. And he walked him. 2 out base on balls. That'll keep it going for Alexi Ramirez. Ramirez 0 for 3, reaching on an error in his last at bat. Ball 1. To center field, that'll drop in. Base hit. Viciedo moves up to second base. A couple of base runners now with 2 outs. Bring up the top of the order. It'll be Juan Pierre.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to get somebody up in the bullpen just in case Weinhardt can't finish this, but he's already thrown 42 pitches, which means Jim will not use him tomorrow. He might even give him a couple of days off.
It was looking like it might be a 1-2-3 inning, couple of strikeouts, but a walk and a single. And Eddie Bonine beginning to heat it up in case he is needed. Here's the 0-1 to Pierre. 0-2. So Weinhardt now 1 strike away. 24,905 in attendance tonight on their feet, looking for the final strike and or out. And that'll go foul again. Nice catch.
Still got the tag on his glove.
I was able to close it. The 0-2. Line drive. Caught by the shortstop Peralta. That is a Tigers victory. In the 9th, no runs, a walk, a single, 2 men left. Weinhardt gets the final out. Tigers have a convincing 9-1 victory here tonight. They even up the series at 1 victory apiece. We'll be back with more from Comerica Park after a nice Tigers win tonight.